Well, I was very lucky to have my dad George. He was always bringing us out in the outdoors, whether it was hunting or shooting or taking photographs or going for a walk in the woods. He was big into nature and fishing and shooting and everything. And one summer we were up there, and one day we were out, a lovely sunny day out in the bay, and we heard this shooting in the distance, and it was a group of German tourists that were being led by a semi-local German guide, and he was bringing groups of German hunters out, and they were shooting the seals, and then stuck meat hooks in them and towed them ashore onto a little spit just off Ballyvaughan. They pulled the carcasses up onto the beach, and they skinned the carcasses on the beach and left the seals to rot on the beach for all to see. And Da went in the evening, that's where he went off to. He was taking photographs of the carcasses left on the beach and sent them into the Times and sent them to well-known nature people at the time like Gerd van Gelderen and Liam de Boteler. And the story and some of the photographs are printed in the Irish Times, and that was one of the things which helped the legislation that protected seals. I think that was around the early 70s sometimes. The legislation, that helped the legislation come true that protected the seals. So on the boat, when we have the visitors, it's a little bit difficult. They think they're going out on to the zoo, for example, and that they're paying for a product, and they think, right, well, we have a right more or less to do as we please here. So we have to really explain to them that we're the visitors today, and that we're going out and we're visiting the seals in their home, their natural environment. And while we have every right to observe the wildlife, we have to respect the fact that this is their home. And if we want to get close to them and to get into their heads and experience their real existence, we've got to pretend like we're not there. We've got to disappear. And the best way to disappear is just to be absolutely still and quiet and silent, and let the seals do their thing. And I suppose sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes people don't want to sit still, or they feel like that they're being sort of pressurized into being still. But after a while, when they realize that if they stay still, that these gorgeous creatures will actually come up, they'll be just as interested in looking at them as they are in looking at the seals. So sometimes it's a bit of a job getting people to sit very still and respect the fact that we must respect the seals in their space. But when they do settle down and be quiet, then fantastic things can happen. The island of Mull off the west coast of Scotland, white-tailed sea eagle watching alone is worth something like 5 million sterling to the small island of Mull, where there's something like 20 B&Bs and 3 hotels. So that's a huge amount of employment just from eagle watching. And I suppose eagles are very spectacular. Eagle is sort of the symbol of America, the bald-headed eagle or so on. The white-tailed eagle is a very similar bird, and you're coming here, so we hopefully will get a big industry from it, and people will get great enjoyment going on eagle watching boat trips and so on. And the seals are equally beautiful and gorgeous. I mean, today now we were watching how many 15, 20 seals we saw with their little baby pups and feeding on the rocks and hanging onto the mother's necks and rubbing noses. I mean, it was a seriously emotive subject for people. I mean, I've had people coming up to me on the boat and tears in their eyes, saying they had such an amazing experience seeing these beautiful animals that they'd only ever see maybe on David Attenborough, on the Blue Planet. So having the seals here and all around our coast, a lot of places they're not valued. We should be using the seals a lot more in giving value to our natural environment and in increasing the income from visitors I mean, it sounds a bit commercial in a way, but it's adding value to the local environment and the wildlife and so on. I suppose, yeah. I suppose the dolphins and the whales take all the big the big attention because they look so spectacular. You know, whether it's a whale broaching or dolphins porpoising or whatever. But I mean, when if you were to talk to the people on safari after they've been eye to eye and face to face with a little seal pup that's just been born that morning, or in fact even sometimes they might have seen the seal pup being born. Well, I think that's as special as any whale brooch you'll ever see, or any dive that you see an eagle making and picking a fish off the surface. You know, the seals are just gorgeous, gorgeous animals. And the big thing about them, they're a lot more accessible. You won't see, people often ask me, will we see whales today or will we see dolphins? And I say, no, we don't see whales that often, maybe once a year or twice a year, or dolphins 2 or 3 times a year. But you'll see gorgeous wildlife, gorgeous seals. And they say, oh great, so they come on down, they think no more about it. And after the seal watching experience, they come to me and they say, that was amazing. That was, life-changing. That was changed their whole perspective on the seals and so on. So never realizing they could be so gorgeous and cute. So yeah, we have to appreciate the seals a lot more. They're there, and we can create employment from jobs from it. Seal watching is a realistic job creating industry, and it should be nurtured, and we should be putting a lot more resources into it.